Hey, Pastor, doesn't science disprove the Bible?
Isn't Genesis just a fairy tale?
Is God for real? Did he really create everything in 6 literal days?
Didn't God just use the Big Bang?
Why is there death and suffering? Do you really believe the Bible?
Didn't man evolve from apes?
For answers to these questions and more, stand by for Believing the Bible.
Welcome to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Terry Reed, Dr. Carl Williams, and our producer Ed Salzwedel, all directors at the San Antonio Bible-Based Science Association. We're here to reassure you can believe the Bible from the very first verse. Today we have a special guest in Mike Riddle, and I thank our board member Terry Reed who connected us with Mike. Mike is the founder and president of the Creation Training Initiative. He is an international speaker and teacher on biblical creation, apologetics, and Christian education. He has been involved in creation apologetics for over 35 years. Mike has spoken at NASA, many secular and Christian universities, churches around the world, state homeschool conventions, and secular and Christian schools. Mike's experience includes being an adjunct professor at Northwest Graduate School of Ministry, an instructor at the Institute for Creation Research Graduate School, and with Answers in Genesis as a speaker and author. Mike, truthfully, I could list several other things because you've been into so many training initiatives with Microsoft and with communication skills, but we welcome you here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the ability for letting me come on here today. And when people heard all that, they're probably sitting there wondering, how old is this guy?
How old are you?
I'm 69.
Wow, 69.
And I still do my running and push-ups. And matter of fact, I did a nice, good hard workout today on the track.
Excellent. All right. What is CTI? What is the ministry you're involved with at this point?
It's called CTI. It stands for Creation Training Initiative. And we do have an initiative out there. The purpose of our ministry, our goal, is to train others how to speak and teach on biblical creation and apologetics, which means we train people how to defend their faith, not just simply saying, it's in the Bible, therefore I believe it. That's not what God tells us to do. He tells us to study to show ourselves approved, handle God's word, have the answers always for the hope that we have. So that's what we're about, is training others. So we don't need to be a big ministry. We want others to be able to do this. All over the country, we've been training people to teach in their churches. We even have courses on communication skills and teaching skills for Sunday school teachers and Christian school teachers, or anybody wants to teach. So that's the basic part of our ministry, is training others on the Bible, science, apologetics. But the focus is God's Word and the Gospel.
This is a ministry that I have a burden for. I was asked a question during a seminar doing this 32 years ago. A guy said, this is fantastic, but you really need to find a way to reproduce yourself. And that's what y'all are trying to do, is it not?
Yes, it is. A lot of our students are now teaching around the country in their churches. Some are getting requests to travel around the country and speak and teach. For example, we have a lot of one-day courses. We have a basic creation training course that's just one day. We come to your church to do this, and it's for teens and above. We get all the way down to the teen level, start training them how to defend their faith. We have another course, one-day course called Advanced Creation Apologetics, which answers some of the real tough questions like, show me any evidence for the existence of God, or how can you call God good when he allows evil or bad things to continue to happen? The big tough questions. We show you how to answer those, and we show you don't have to be a scientist to do this. Having a science degrees are great, but you don't have to be a scientist to do this. We even have a course called Christian Educators Conference, where we bring in people that are in the education field, whether it's Sunday school, Christian schools, homeschools, and we get you started on what are you going to need to know in order to train others to do this. And then we have our elite course. It's our 5-day Creation Apologetics Teachers College. I don't know if there's another course quite like this in Christianity. We only host it once a year because it costs us a lot of money to do this. Host it once a year, and there's only 2 places in the country where we found where we can hold this course. One is Ridgecrest Conference Center, North Carolina. The other one's Glorieta Conference Center near Santa Fe, New Mexico. And the reason is we have a very special audience. It's college age and above. We need to be near major airport. And then we can feed you well and you get nice rooms, hotel style rooms. But in that course, you're going to come when you're done. You're ready to go back to your church and start teaching. You're in the classroom 8 to 10 hours a day. You're studying at night. And you don't come to our courses and just sit and listen. This is what makes us different. We don't do the online, which is good. But your communication skills, which we also train you in. Then you have to do a 3-minute defense presentation. We have a list of about 15 different topics. You don't know which one you're going to get. We put you up there. We challenge you. You have 3 minutes or less to give a organized, accurate response. Then take a written final exam, closed book, closed note. This will be our 5th year. You know what our success rate is? 100%. I do not tolerate failure in Christian education. We are there for everyone to succeed. And this is a grueling course. But we work hard as a team for success so we can have evangelists all over the country that can not only go and share the gospel, but they can defend the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's what we're producing. So we're going beyond just a written exam. We actually get to observe people do this before they go back home. So that's our Creation Apologetics Teachers College. And they can find out a lot about this by going to our website, which is creationtraining.org. It's all one word, creationtraining.org. Then, where we're located is in the Boise, Idaho area, and we're busy now, and with a goal of taking all of Boise for Jesus Christ. On June 30th, we're hosting a youth pastor conference. It's just half a day, where we're going to get these youth pastors well-trained to go teach their students on creation and apologetics, so these students will stop leaving the church. Because the norm is about 60% of students are leaving the church now. We can't tolerate that. That has to stop. And we're going to make Boise a leader in that area by a lot of the courses we're teaching here and setting up youth and youth pastors and getting them trained. We're even now in the first stages of developing a biblical worldview and apologetics curriculum to train these youth pastors and other teachers on this. Because they're not getting that much in our Christian universities. They're getting a lot of compromise. They're just not getting enough the practical apologetics. So we're going to get the practical apologetics, such as who did Cain marry? Was there really a worldwide flood? Doesn't carbon 14 prove the earth is old? Questions like that. How do you fit dinosaurs in the Bible? And then good critical thinking skills. So we're going to train them on all these areas in that curriculum there. So what we want to do is invest in others on how to do this themselves. Because as I get older and older and older, I'd like to stay home with the grandchildren a little more. So I have an ulterior motive in there.
You're listening to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Terry Reed and Dr. Carl Williams. If you'd like to learn more, go to sabsa.org. That is SABBSA.org. Our guest today is Mike Riddle with Creation Training Initiative. Yeah, we need to reproduce, and it's fantastic that you've got these one-day courses, you've got a 5-day course. But I was always concerned about how a person who did not have a large background could get blown up in a presentation session with such a thing as, well, what about homonality, or what about dinosaurs, or what about the red tooth and nail that we see in nature? Isn't that contrary to God in the Bible? How do you address these concerns or show these people how to either avoid these pitfalls or know their limits on what they're doing?
Well, again, these are live classes. We've integrated time in the classroom for questions. This is not just standing up and lecturing. This is like a real school classroom. So all day long, students can ask questions. And for like our basic creation training, it's for teens and above. So we get to address all their questions. And I show them the parts of critical thinking skills, how to turn a situation around and put the other person on the defense. And a lot of times I use the examples from Jesus where he was challenged, and he answered his challenge with a question and found out the other person, people didn't know what they were talking about, or they were afraid. And Jesus never had to answer the question. I've used that in discussions also. Not all the time, but I use it in discussions. So learning critical thinking skills, which is a lost art today, can turn a situation around and show that the person's question is really not relevant, or we do have answers. Now, there's a lot of information out there. We can't give you all the answers, but we can show you how to really stand up for your faith, and that's the big issue.
How would someone get into your program?
What we need is somebody from a church or a pastor to say that to request a course. We come to the church, and then we help you do some of the advertising in the community for people to come to our class. Now, here's the deal. We don't charge the church. We don't charge the church. We charge by individual. For example, at one of our one-day classes, it costs students $45 to attend that class. What they get is the full day of training, 8:30 to 5:30. They get over a 100-page manual, and we buy you lunch. So we bring lunch in. We cater it in for you. So it's a pretty good deal that we're giving.
sounds like an exceptional deal.
Yeah, we don't want money to be the issue. People can't learn God's Word. We'll take the loss if it has to be, but which means we rely on God all the way in this thing because we don't have the finances to give everything away. We'd love to be able to do that, but we don't have the finances. So we just rely on God for the monies, and we do what we can.
This sounds exceptional. What is your website again?
It's creationtraining.org. All one word, creationtraining.org.
We thank you for telling us about your great ministry at this point.
Believing the Bible now has a new way you can support our ministry and get some great gifts. For a donation of $10 or more, we will email you a copy of Repetition in the Bible by Jack Cassione, which shows the Bible to be a self-proving document and shows God's protection of His Word over the ages. For a donation of $25 or more, we will also mail you a copy of Scott Lane's book, What If God Wrote the Bible, showing 6 things we should find in the world and in the Bible if God is the author of the Bible. To get these great gifts, send your check or money order to SABSA at 7620 Avery, Live Oak, Texas 78233. That's SABBSA at 7620 Avery Road, Live Oak, Texas 78233. This information for ordering is also on our contact page at sabsa.org. Information for creation events in our area are on our website's calendar page. For more information or to schedule a presentation, go to sabsa.org or call 210-599-7240. When you go to our website, you can click on a link to our newsletter. Our website has a link for contact information on which you can order our newsletter to be emailed to you, or you can call us. Also go to whyshouldyoubelieve.com. That is Terry's website containing articles looking at current day issues from a biblical perspective. SABSA meets the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. We are now meeting at Faith Lutheran Church just south of the corner of Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks. There you will find biblical apologetics and creation science teaching found nowhere else in Bexar County, as well as the availability of books and videos on these important subjects. If you missed any part of this show, you can listen to the show anytime by going to the AM 630 KSLR, the Word in South Texas website. Click on KSLR Podcast, scroll down until you find Believing the Bible. Please join us again next Saturday for Believing the Bible. I'm Scott Lane, and for Terry Reed, Dr. Carl Williams, and Ed Salzwell, thanks for listening, and we hope you found today a reason to believe the Bible.